Ladies and gentlemen, it is a beautiful, lovely Thursday on the Money Manziel MMA channel. And listen, man, we got a card this weekend, UFC Vancouver, headlined by Renier de Ridder and Brendan Allen. We got some predictions to make before the fight card comes up on Saturday. Let's get right into it. Let's not waste any time, man. The main event, Renier de Ridder and Brendan Allen. Listen, this is one of the funniest matchups you can make. Obviously, Anthony Fluffy Hernandez fell out of the fight. I don't know exactly what the issue was, if it was injury, I don't know what really went on, but he fell out. So now we have Renier de Ridder and Brendan Allen. Very interesting matchup. De Ridder's finished 18 of his 21 wins. Brendan Allen's finished 19 of his 25 wins. He's coming off, is it back to back or is it just one over Marvin Vettori? I'm not completely sure, but I'm going to go Renier de Ridder, guys. Listen, cue the video of Renier de Ridder playing that coordination game before his last fight. This is one of the goofiest individuals. Watching that video, if you don't think that Renier de Ridder is one of the goofiest high-level fighters in history, then I don't know what to tell you, man. Listen, I have no way of knowing how he's going to win this fight. I thought there was no universe where he would beat Robert Whittaker by decision, but, in classic Renier de Ridder fashion, he did that. I didn't think he'd finish Bo Nickel on the feet, but, then again, what do I know about this sport? So he's going to pull mount, probably like sweep him into an arm bar, and it'll be like the cleanest break of an arm you've ever seen. A real character in the sport, a real goofball. I hope he wins, to be honest with you. I think it's just funny for the sport to have a guy like this in the top of the middleweight division. So let's hope for all of our sakes that Renier de Ridder somehow comes out on top, and it'll be really funny. That's my goal here. Co-main event. Oh my god. Kevin Holland and Mike Malott. Whenever I see Kevin Holland's name, I know that I'm not going to be confident about the prediction. You just cannot be. Kevin Holland is so hard to read in terms of how he's going to look in fights. I will say he always does look better at welterweight. The Daniel Rodriguez loss is confusing and concerning, considering he was dropped badly by a guy who I really do not rate. He did get clipped, like he was kind of aura farming, and I don't know, man. Like I think he underestimated D-Rod a little bit, came in thinking it would be light work, and ended up getting caught. There's still a very good argument he won that fight, by the way. I haven't gone back and rewatched it. I will probably later today. But I need to see it again. Guys, with Mike Malott, right? That loss that you see on his record is to none other than Neil Magny. Shout out to Neil Magny. But I don't know, man. Like, he beat Chuck Buffalo by KO. That's a pretty good win, although he's been finished before. The Trevin Giles fight was not that impressive to me. I'm going to go Kevin Holland, just in the interest of thinking about where the money's going to be. I think a lot of people are going to fade Kevin Holland here. Even though he's an underdog, I think a lot of money's going to go on the Mike Malott side. And Kevin Holland works for the books. He understands how they are going to make the most money. A lot of people are going to take Malott by decision. And I think that, listen, if you're dumb enough to lose to Neil Magny, then I kind of think that you can lose to Kevin Holland. I kind of put that loss on the same level. You know what I mean? Like, when you fight Neil Magny, if you were Mike Malott's coach, if I was here, all I would say was, do not clinch with Neil Magny. Whatever you do. If you avoid that, it is the easiest win of your life. He is zero threat. But somehow, guys like Jake Matthews, dumbass, Mike Malott, dumbass, these Easy DS, idiot, I'm refraining from using a different word. These guys are all stupid and they clinch with him. Mike Malott showed dumb fight IQ and quit in that fight. I think Holland is going to make him pay for that. I don't know. He'll probably go out there and like KO him in round one, look like the greatest fighter of all time. And then he will get submitted by Neil Magny by like Darce or something. But, I'm not going to bet on this fucking fight. I'm not an idiot. I'm not stupid. Don't ever bet on a Kevin Holland fight. Word to the wise. That's financial advice. You could ask your stock analyst, your financial advisor about this fight, and they would tell you never place a bet on a Kevin Holland fight. So it is what it is. We'll go with Holland. Marlon Vera and Ayman Zahabi, the Unk fight of all Unk fights. We have arrived at the unction. Play the music, folks. Listen, Marlon Vera and Iman Zabi's a hilarious fight. Vera is coming off the losses versus Figgy and Sean O'Malley, where he did not throw a strike until the last round at either of them. Iman Zahabi, I don't even want to talk about this guy. What he did to my heart in May in his last fight, I was sitting there at the end of the fight thinking, fuck, like Aldo won that fight, like we'll see the decision, but I thought Aldo got rounds 1 and 3, um, and even an argument for 2, to be honest with you. When they read out that Ayman Zahabi won that fight, I legitimately sat there in silence. I said this on Tuesday, I'll say it again. I was sitting in silence when Ayman Zahabi robbed Jose Aldo. My girlfriend texts me saying, come over. I say no and turn off my phone. That is what happened in May when Ayman Zahabi last fought. Because of that, because of the damage he did to my relationship that night, we are picking Marlon Vera. Um, I listen, man. I'm just gonna hate watch. Like, I'm just not going to pick Ayman Zahabi. It is what it is. Debate a fucking wall about it. We're gonna go Marlon Vera by like axe kick or heel kick knockout in like the final minute. He's going to stare at Ayman Zahabi for 13 minutes, not throw a single strike, in like Aura Farm, like he's been doing on TikTok and on Neon's live streams and shit. And then he's randomly gonna knock him out, and then you're gonna get like Joe Rogan, get him on his pockets. He'd be like, dude, like I think there's actually a time where people they reach a new level in their career, and when you KO'd 40-year-old Ayman Zahabi, I knew you reached that prime. You know, like fucking, I hate Joe. I hate the way that Joe Rogan speaks about some fighters, man, because bro, like he was talking about this is gonna be a dumb tangent. I promise I'll wrap this up. Um, but like he was talking to Khalil Roundtree after he beat Anthony Smith, and Joe was like, "You've really reached a new prime in your career. This is a real win for you." No, it isn't. Anthony Smith isn't a real win. Either way, I'll make a video about it at some point. Either way, Marlon Vera, you're winning this fight by KO. Fuck Amazabi. Menon Fior versus Jasmine Jesuitavicius. This fight is really easy for me to predict, even if I'm being serious about it. It's women's MMA. I'm not going to do the criteria that I have for the rest of the women's MMA fights on this card because I actually know what these two fight like. Um, but in terms of, you know, how this fight's going to go, Manon Fior is better. She is so fucking boring, though. Imavov is better about finishing people, so he's a little more exciting the way he's willing to get scrappy. Manon Fior is so fucking boring, and I guarantee you every, like, fake hardcore fan on Twitter goes like, oh my god, she's winning the outside foot position battle. Did you see the way she was kicking the leg? Dude, that's so technical. No one else can do that. Shut the fuck up, bro. I'm sorry, man. Like, I enjoy a technical striking fight, but, like, the way that French fighters do it, especially people like William Gomez and Manon Fior, it's like they're doing everything they can to not engage in combat. Right? This is a combat sport. I would rather you fucking pull guard and throw up submissions constantly, like what Charles was doing versus Gamrot. You know what I mean? I'd rather you do that. So, Manon Fior is going to win. It's going to be incredibly boring. She's going to defend takedowns, win 30-27 on 2 cards, and then Jasmine will lose like 29-28 on one of the other ones for like a random round. You know what I mean? I know how this fight's going to go. I'm not an idiot. It just pisses me off when we get this like technical shit. I enjoyed watching Cyril Gahn be technical because it's with the intent to hurt you, not when you're not trying to hurt the opponent. Like, I don't know, man. It's so boring, but let me know if you agree down below. This is going to piss me off too. Cody Gibson and Arichi Lane. Why is this fight this high on the card? We have Drew Dober fighting a random Canadian guy later on the card. We have Jordan and Davy Grant. Hell, we have Bruno Silva in fucking Hyunsum Park. That's a better fight than this. We got 38-year-old Cody Gibson with a side part, by the way. 38 years old rocking a side part. That's the shit I was rocking in middle school, big bro. He's late to the trend. It is what it is. We all had side parts back in the day. He's coming off a loss against Damon Blackshear, I believe. Arishi Lane hasn't fought since Raul Rosas beat him. He was pretty competitive in that until Rosas got the wrestling going. And for that reason, I'll pick Cody Gibson. Should never be this high up on the card. It pisses me off that this fight is even... I hate that these two are on the roster, to be honest with you. But that's a separate story. I think that Cody Gibson's going to win by taking him down and probably controlling him. If not, then fucking who knows, man. He'll probably win a split decision because he looks vaguely Canadian. That's kind of the logic here. I don't have anything else for you guys. Both should be cut from the UFC regardless. Why are these two here? Um, you know, I don't. What am I supposed to say about this fight, man? Why are we at a point where on the main card Cody Gibson is fighting? Cody Gibson's wins are Brian Kelleher, and then I don't even remember who the other guy was that he beat. It was probably a random human being. You know what I mean? Your notable win is Brian Kelleher in the UFC, and shut up. I know I'm a Cody Garbrandt fan. Still, fucking unbelievable stuff. Let's move on, man. I don't want to talk about this. Kyle Nelson and Matt Favola. Now this is real ball. This is real cinema here. Kyle Nelson and Matt Favola. Uh, Listen, we need an American to go out there and cut a promo. I think Matt Favola can do it. Now, is this a fight between two guys who have a combined 3 knockout losses in their last fights? Like Nelson got knocked out by Garcia, Favola's been knocked out twice in a row. Yes. But also, like, Matt Favola kind of has the look of a guy where Kyle Nelson's like the dude at 7-Eleven that comes up to you looking to, like, chain smoke. And Favola, like, pulls out a fucking gun and shoots him in the face. He thinks he's like a weird witch or something. So, I don't know, man. Kyle Nelson kind of looks like the devil reincarnated. I don't know if y'all see what, like, Aleister Crowley, like the old, like, satanic dudes, like, that's kind of what Kyle Nelson looks like. I'm sure he's a great guy, Kyle, come on the fucking show anytime you want. But, I'm just saying how it is. Matt Favola looks a little evil in this picture, which I can get behind. Hopefully he's well rested from his loss, and maybe this guy can get these two back, because it won't be a good look if he loses to Kyle Nelson, I'll tell you that. So, prayers to Matt Favola. I don't know. Nelson doesn't like a fight, so if Favola really pressures him and tries to go all out, he'll KO him, is what it is. Charles Jourdain and Davy Grant. Probably my favorite prelim on this card, actually. I love watching Charles Jourdain fight. He's coming off the win versus Victor Henry, where he got the guillotine in his debut at bantamweight. Really good idea to go down, in my opinion. He has the frame for it. Davy Grant is coming off a couple of crafty vet wins over, I believe, Ramon Tavares and Damon Blackshear, if I've got that correct. It has been the year of the young. So listen, we've had Michael Johnson win. Neil Magny's won twice. Who else has won? Jerry Cannonier beat Gregory Rodriguez, which is insane to think about. MVP's still doing, and he's old as hell. I don't know who else is on the roster. Misha Tate almost got it done for the Ants of the world. I think that Davy Grant has used up his Unk card. Like Monopoly, you get the get out of jail free card. I feel like Davy Grant's already used that. Like, I think that's the point we're at, where if you're an Unk past a certain point, we can't respect it. We don't think you're going to win. It is what it is. I think Jourdain wins, dude. Listen, go and look at this guy's TikTok account. I'll play an example of what this guy's been posting.
I think I didn't take risk when I was in Thailand and there was ladyboys everywhere. I took risk. So when I hear I don't want to take
interesting stuff from a professional athlete, I follow. It is what it is. He'll probably fluke like a guillotine here, or Jourdain likes to duke it out in the feet. I think Davy Grant is very unorthodox, but Jourdain, to me, has a little more pop in his punches. He can do some more damage, so I like Davy Grant, or not Davy Grant. I like Charles Jourdain to win here. That might be a Freudian slip. We'll find out on Saturday, but I'd have to look into this fight a little more to feel like incredibly confident at a minus 200 for Jourdain, so we'll pick him for now. It is what it is. Bruno Silva and Hyun Sun Park. Very interesting matchup. Bruno Silva's coming off the losses to Joshua Van and Manel Kopp, which in hindsight are not bad. And he was pretty competitive with both of them. I rewatched the Manel Kopp fight because I didn't get to see it live. And other than like the aura farming and the like groin shot finish, it was not some unbelievable, wow, Bruno Silva is 10 tiers below Manel Kopp performance. He had moments. Same in the Joshua Van fight, he was landing on Van. Not going away, and then eventually he just kind of had too much. Like, I mean, Van just really poured the pressure on in the third round. Silva wasn't built for it. It is what it is. On the other hand, Hyun-Sung Park took the Tatsuro Taira fight on short notice. So I don't really know his skill level because, frankly, he got dropped and submitted basically immediately. Not a great way to go out for Hyun-Sung Park. I worry about his confidence. I don't love getting back in there this fast. I'm going to go Bruno Silva as an underdog here. Real tough cookie. I worry about. I don't like it when young fighters jump back in like that. I like them to take 5 or 6 months off, just to kind of get their mind right. Get back in the gym, watch the film on the last fight, be like, okay, I got caught here. How do we work on this for the next fight? To immediately go, oh my god, I need to get this one back immediately, make people forget about the Tyra fight. I think that's a mistake, especially in the way he lost. If it's like a Cody Garbrandt losing to Johnny Barcelos, Cody should have already got back in there, in my opinion. Like didn't take damage, like very forgettable fight. If he goes out there and knocks out a can, then people are going to be big on Cody again. In the same way that I think Hyun Park, it wasn't forgettable. Like now Tyra's got a number one contender fight with Brandon Moreno. You know what I mean? I think Park would do himself justice by taking some time off, and they were like, "Oh, Hyun Park is back." I think it's a mistake. I like guys taking a little bit of time off, especially when it's not like the fans are dying to see Hyun Park fight again. It's been a bad year for Koreans in the sport, so we'll go Bruno Silva as an underdog here. Danny left hand to God Barlow versus Jordan Santos. Why is Jordan Santos standing like that? Jordan Santos kind of looks like I don't know where I'm going with this. I don't know, man. Jordan Santos looks like the type of dude where you know, like you walk into a classroom, right? If you see this guy, and I'm going to be as nice as possible about this. If you see a guy that looks like Jordan Santos sitting in the chair next to the only one that's empty, you're probably going to drop the class. You know what I mean? Like you're not. This isn't the guy you want to sit next to in class. What I mean by that, I have no clue, but it is what it is. Danny Barlow's coming off a loss against Sam Patterson. Jordan Santos lost to Ozzy Diaz in a close fight. I think you could have argued Santos won, but it is what it is. Um, I'm going Danny Barlow. This is a no-brainer for me. Losing to Ozzy Diaz should be a crime against the war. It should be treason to yourself. Um, it's shameful to lose to Ozzy Diaz in the big. I think it was 2025. I think it was UFC 314. They scrapped. Jordan Santos is tough, but he got rocked numerous times. I think Danny Barlow's power will carry up, and he's gonna flatline this fucking guy. Jordan Santos does not move his head. He's a blockhead, as bedtime would say. I also really like the coaching and management of Danny Barlow to move him up to middleweight. He's a big welterweight, or relatively. I mean, he could still fight there, but if he realizes, hey, my chin is bad at 170, let me not make it worse before going up. I like that. I like he's going to be more durable at 185. I can appreciate that. We're going to go Danny Barlow here to get the KO. Probably round 2 would be my guess. Kyle Prepolek and Drew Dober. I wish this fight was near the main card. I know Dober is 1-4 in his last 5. You wouldn't know it by the way people talk about this dude, but he has had a rough fucking run of fights. Either way, Kyle Prepolek's coming off the loss versus Benoit Saint-Denis. Not shocking. He was like a plus 1 million underdog. And fought like it. He had a moment on the feet. He landed one shot that seemed to stagger Benoit, but Benoit took him down with ease every time. I would like to know if Dober is going to go to his grappling because it's not bad. He does not have bad offensive grappling. I'd be interested to see if he tries to go that route. Um, wouldn't shock me, especially with his chin. I think, and listen, play the music again. But I do think that Drew Dober is washed. Absolutely, he's washed. His chin was taken by Matt Frevola. It's continued to be decimated. Manuel Torres did horrendous things to him in their fight. Gene Silva beat the shit. I mean, not even beat the bricks. Beat the dog shit out of Drew Dober in their fight. So I'm kind of at the point where I have to pick him because Prepolek is that bad, but is it insane to say that Prepolek, a guy with how many KOs does he have? A guy with 10 KOs on his record could KO Drew Dober? No. I wouldn't bet on it. I wouldn't place my United States dollars on it, but it could happen, so I'm hoping Drew wins. I'm rooting for him, but I worry about the durability, man. That's all I'm going to say for now. Stephanie Luciano versus Ravina Oliveira. Listen, these are two of my favorite fighters. I love these guys. They're technical. They're powerful. They've got a ground game. These are two of the highest level fighters in the sport right now. Just kidding. I have zero fucking clue who these girls are. I've never seen either of them fight in my life. Shout out to them. Stephanie Luciano looks mean, so I'm going to pick her to win. That is the strategy we will be using in 2025 to pick women's MMA fights. I believe she lost to Luana Santos in her last fight. I might be wrong about that. I might have just bullshitted that. Does she have submission laws? No, so I have no fucking clue. She fought in her last fight. I completely made up that. It is what it is. Um, I'm gonna pick her. I have zero breakdown for this. I do not know either of these girls. I've never seen them fight. I know the name Stephanie Luciano, but I'm not gonna sit here and bullshit you guys. So let's just move on, man. Azamat Bakov. Now you can. Why is this not on the main card? Azamat Bakov and Yusri Belgaru. That's an awesome fight. Are you kidding me? That should. My voice is cracking. Why is Cody Gibson on the main card and Bakoev isn't? This guy's finished 16 of 20. Belgari's finished 6 of 8. Imagine if it was one less win. Crazy stuff. Either way, I'm gonna go Bakoev here, man. Listen, I don't need much of a breakdown, and I'll let you look at the height for me to tell you why. Belgaru's chin, and listen, he hasn't been knocked down in his career. But there's no way that a 6'5" guy cutting to 185 is good for his chin. I refuse to believe that. He is skinny for the division. I think he should bulk up to 205. Guru said something about this. I completely agree. I just do not think it's good for him durability wise. And he does not have an impressive fight in the Contender Series yet. I believe this is his actual UFC debut. The Marco Tulio loss wasn't bad, and to be fair, for him to go the distance, I believe, with Tulio's impressive. So I'll give him credit there. Maybe he is durable, but Bakov is going to win as long as he offensively grapples. I will say that he has punched himself out in both the Reese and Loader fight. Like, he was gassing by the time he finished Loader and Reese. So something to note, if he hurts Belgaru early and can't get him out of there, that he could gas himself out. Just think about it, but for now, we'll take Bakov by round 1 KO. It seems pretty easy to me. Final fight on the card and final fight of the video, Melissa Croden and Tainara Lisboa. Again, two of my favorite fighters. I've seen all of their fights live. I actually flew to Canada to watch Melissa Croden. That's how big of a fan I am. She does have a loss to Jacqueline Cavalcante in a 5-round fight. I have seen film of it. Not a bad loss, to be honest with you. Cavalcante, I think, is a bit overrated as a prospect, but she's not bad. I think it's Lisboa that got submitted by Luana Santos, now that I think about it. So I'm going to go Melissa Croden. She is flipped to the favorite, which is interesting. She did open as a sizable underdog. Um, but at the end of the day, man, she looks a little more attractive. That's kind of what I'm going to go off of, to be honest with you. Apologies to my girlfriend. That's where we're at on this video, but we're going to go Melissa Croden by crafty 34-year-old prospect decision. Maybe has a moment on the feet where like she hurts this girl, but I know nothing about this fight. Let's quit pretending that any of us do. We watch every MMA We watch every women's MMA fight. I sold the fucking clip. Forget about it. That ain't going on TikTok anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for the UFC Vancouver card. I had a fun time making this video and making the graphics. I hope you guys had a fun time listening. I'm not going to pitch you on subscribing to the channel. If you want to subscribe, like, or comment, let me know, man. Comment down below, what is the funniest way Rainier DeRitter could win this fight? Because I think there are some funny ways he could do it. Maybe Brendan Allen fucking goes out there and smokes him, but I doubt it. I will see you all in the next one. TikTok coming out later, YouTube short coming out along with the video. You know how it goes, man. You guys understand at this point. Thanks for the love and support on the recent videos. I will see you all tomorrow with a random video, probably. In the meantime, have a good Thursday, and I'll see you guys around. Peace out, boys.